Nearly 2 months have passed, and this is a good time to talk about Harvest Island Post Mortem. First of all, I want to thank the community for buying the game and supporting my game development journey. I wouldn't be able to continue making games if it wasn't for your interest in Harvest Island. I spent 3.5 years on this, and I'm really glad that it's done. So far, most of the streamers that I have lurked around like the game, and when they finished it, it was very memorable for them. That's something I like to hear, and it motivates me to continue developing games. I also want to thank the translation team that helped Harvest Island. They were very great in translating the game. It was a lot of work for them, but they stuck to it to the end, considering how big the game is. They also went through the extra work to make sure that the localization was accurate, so really, I have to thank them. And also, I want to thank the artist for illustrating the character and background illustration as well. This was a very long project and they stuck it to the end, and I'm very happy about that. Okay, so there's a lot of lessons I learned from Harvest Island. How to market a game, how to make a game, how to plan out a game, how to budget a game, how to draw, how to write a story for a video game. I mean, the list goes on. This first big commercial release allowed me to see what you like as gamers. And I discovered that my writing is what you guys like the most. My weakest point is probably level design, balancing, and testing. This is something I can improve incredibly with a better game engine and a better design process layout, and playing more games to draw inspiration from. I think when I make my next game, it's going to be absolutely better than Harvest Island. I have more experience in making games, and I know how to approach a better game now. I'll lean heavily on my strong skills as a game designer, and that's storytelling. And that means it'll influence my genre that I make too. I believe I'm more suited to making a walking sim and an RPG, since that's what I'm most experienced at. If I do make another farming sim, it'll probably be more of an RPG farming sim. So, how did my game do overall? For my Steam review, it sits at an 82%, which is really good for a big first commercial release. I think overall, the review score will go higher because of the many updates and improvements I have added to the game. I think it'll sit around from an 85 to an 87%, if the sales continue to come in daily. It'll just take some time to get there, maybe a month or two. Other than that, I'm pretty happy how this turned out. As for my sales, currently I've sold over 4,100 copies. But that doesn't mean I made like $100,000. With the returns, tax, regional pricing, and Steam cut, I mostly made about $40,000 over the course of 2 months. And with the cost of development and the people I owe, I broke even essentially. So from this point on, I'm able to make a profit. Honestly, if it weren't for my support of my parents, I wouldn't be able to sustainably do this game development as a career. So this has been a very small success for me. If I think about the long term, I'm able to continue to make video games, and that's what really matters. Statistically, I'm considered successful in the indie realm space. I'm actually sitting in the top 6% now. I'm not a big successful indie developer, but I am a developer that has quite a lot of potential to be one. And this isn't coming from me, it's from critics and streamers. They're all looking forward to what I make next. They see the potential in me, and I'm just happy to hear that. So, what am I gonna do now that Harvest Island is finished? I've promised that Harvest Island will have a sequel and a prequel, and I will deliver on that. But it's going to take some time before I can make those games happen. The Chains That Bound Me, which is the prequel to Harvest Island, needs quite a bit of fun and a dedicated team of at least 3 to actually complete the game. Making an RPG is a really expensive and time-consuming development. I'm not too interested in solo developing this game. It's just going to take way too long to finish, and it'll be subpar with the lack of funding. I could try, but I'm just really not that interested. But I will be able to hire a dedicated artist to make one small game. I already know what I'm going to make, and it'll lean on my strength as a game developer. I think fans will be okay with this because they're mostly looking at what games I'm going to make because they're interested in my storytelling and my abilities to make games that'll stick with them for a very long time. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Look forward to my next game, and hopefully it's not going to take 3 years to finish. Most likely a year or a year and a half, depending how fast I can learn Godot.